in planned PAAs there behind the plot. The 75th, who becomes GSR, General Support Reinforcement, does during this phase, they will remain at the 2nd MEB's AO in attack position Cougar at their planned PAAs, and will have obviously inherent responsibility to plan their fires. For this phase, so what we have here, sir, is our 2 artillery battalions, 2 MRF battalions tracked. The 75th has M270s, tracked vehicles, and they also have 1 HIMARS battalion. So that's the artillery composed combat power. They also have here we have 2 Q-53s in the target acquisition platoon, and here we have 2 Q-53s as well. So you can see the ranges, sir, on the CPOT there. As far as they can range, you can see the green ranges here, which are not really to scale. The radars can range up to about baseline Bravo. Once they move north baseline Brown, they can range up to about baseline Black. The 75th radars can range. They can protect our southern flanks here, tracking artillery, but they're not going to be that effective at that position. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. As you can see, the enemy can't range past baseline Black with their organic artillery. At least the divisions can. So we're fighting essentially 7 artillery brigades, 1 in each one of the divisions, the 5th and the 8th, and then there's a 24th. That's in addition to the IFC East, the strategic forces, or strategic artillery forces, which is the 3rd and the 4th MRL brigades, which are right now south of the map. So the bottom line here, sir, is that they can't range us even with their WM-80s, that's their longest range artillery, or their FA DJRs, 3s, which is also an MRL with long range, or their Smirches. So that's our positioning, sir, for our friendly units and enemy units. Our fire support tasks during this phase is obviously to neutralize elements of the 77th, the disruption force, which is north of baseline Red. So as friendly maneuver is moving south, once they reach baseline Brown, then the battalions from attack line will move south to PAAs, plan PAAs north of baseline Brown. That's in order to put us within range of south of baseline Red, and we can begin treating the enemy south of baseline Red. The next FSD is to destroy enemy IFC East indirect fire assets, in addition to IF's SA-10s if they remain during this phase, and SA-22s. The priority fire, sir, is 1-3 as the main effort, 1-4 followed by 1-4, 17 Turk, and then everyone else. Air support, the FSCL during this phase is baseline Red, and once our FSCL becomes baseline, our CFL becomes baseline Red, then the FSCL will move to baseline Orange, which is off the map right here. Our HPT in this phase is air defense, fire support, maneuver, followed by logistics. And you can see what we have here, sir, as far as equipment-wise. So at the conclusion of this phase, sir, we will have the 218 and 313 position on PAs north of baseline Red, as you can see, in order for us to begin shaping objective Bravo prior to initiation of the attack. If any of your questions, sir, I'll be followed by protection.
Thank you. Gentlemen, sir, Major Pierce, Objections Chief. So overall right now for all of phase 3, we're postured and ready. With that, each one of my slides, I'll give you 2 key takeaways. So the first key takeaway for phase 3 Alpha is that the engineer bridge and assets are staged in this general vicinity, awaiting for the wet gap crossing to be identified and then secured before they move forward and start replacing the bridge and assets. Second key takeaway is that the ADA provides protection of the recon elements while they move forward, and they're prepared to protect against manned and unmanned aerial threats. Barring your questions, I'll be followed by Stan.
sir. Major Garcia, G4. Sir, initially the Port ID will have logistical support at the DSA Iron Horse. Next to that is going to be LSA YEPLAC, where the external support of the 4th Special Brigade will be. In the CBOF map, you can see the overlay for the BSPs assigned to the 4th ID. And the BSPs will establish a fleet forward to support the gap crossing. And once the gap crossings are secured, you can see here the priority of support for each of the BCTs, and also priority of supply. For Role 3 health support, they're going to be located also with the LSA FLAG here. However, the FSTs will be attached to each of the BCTs prior to the gap crossing. Any other questions? I'll be followed by Niche Command.
Go ahead.
Point, sir. Major Schnacky, G6. The division main will remain in attack line for the duration of phase 3. The division attack will be in transition southeast, and the EECP will be established in the vicinity of the gap crossing site to conduct CQA. We'll also deploy 4 of the division's retransmission stations, as depicted here, ground stations, and we'll also be utilizing the Gray Eagle for aerial retransmission in the vicinity of the gap crossing. Here on CPOF, I've depicted the communications rings. So these blue rings depict a 25-kilometer coverage area. This large green ring is the Gray Eagle coverage area of 40 kilometers. The green depicted here is where we'll have connectivity, and red is any dead spots along the route. As you can see, we will have analog tactical communications for to support this attack. Oh, sorry, gap crossing. Any questions? Let's follow by the gap crossing.
Sir, these following slides, before we transition to 3 Bravo, we're going to give a little bit more detail on what the river crossing, the gap crossing would actually look like. So the first slide please. First slide just gives you a threat template overview of what a mech brigade would look like arrayed on the other side of the river before we cross. General task organization, so we'll be looking at 3 mech battalions and 1 armor battalion, assuming defensive positions on the far side of the river. The battle zone itself, the weapon systems within the battle zone, their ranges will dictate the destruction zone. So first overview of the battle zone, we'll be looking at 120 total BTR 80s and 31 T-72s, as well as 3 dozen self-propelled 2S-23s. Their range ultimately dictates the disruption zone, which will range about 5 to 6 kilometers towards us on the far side of the river, with engaging approximately 144 rounds per minute, capable of covering the reconnaissance elements split between 4 different positions, each capable of providing reconnaissance with a BTR-80 communications asset and a UAV. There will be a mech battalion with a disruption force on the far side of the river as well, with 40 BTR-80s and anti-tank capability. There will be additional anti-tank capability embedded with each of these battalions, overwatching the crossing positions in the battle zone, sir, and also supported by high attack rotary aviation, 12 to 15 total assets capable of supporting that defense, sir. Following this, sir, I'll be followed by Major Dye, 3 engineers.
The division crossing area is divided into 2 separate crossing areas that are brigade level, brigade size, as dictated over here on the left map. For here, this is the northern crossing area. The command and control of this area, you've got divided into the 4th ID DCGM is the crossing area commander for the division crossing area, and 35th Engineer Brigade is the crossing area engineer. For this crossing area, there will be 2 crossing sites for MRBCs. We'll be handling those with ribbon bridges. The further organization, you will have for here, the lead engineers will be the 19th Engineer Battalion, along with 203rd Engineer Battalion. They will be ensuring that all the traffic control, holding areas, all these areas are being organized. The first, and then also the The Assured Mobility Force area is going to be made up of those 2 battalions along with 2 MRBCs that come from 35th Engineer Brigade and along with 2 MPs and also KIM. The Assault and Bridgehead Force will be the CAV 164 Battalion and also 169 Combined Arms Battalion. So the sequence of events for the gap crossing. We'll have 4 sequences. First, will be advance to the gap, which will be the Assault and Bridgehead Force. They'll secure the near side and then start conducting rafting, be able to, with the MRBC falling behind, put together rafts. It'll be a total of 10 rafts, starting putting forces to the far side to start seizing the far side objectives, or securing the far side objective. Next will be assault the gap. As rafting operations continue, this is when we'll start having the actual MRBC ribbon bridges going up. These will be controlled by the 502nd MRBC commander and the 50th MRBC commander. Once we start getting forces on the far side and get the far side objective, we will go there and advance to the far side to an intermediate objective and further on until we get to the attack positions, which that's where the breakout force, which is going to be 3-4 ABCT and 17 Turk, will come through as a breakout force, occupy the attack position, and then move out for further operations. Any questions? Next. Crossing area B, again, similar, again, oriented here to the south. So as they, again, the forces, still the crossing area commander, still the DCGM, the crossing area engineer will be the 35th Engineer Brigade commander. They'll be organizing both engineer operations for both crossing areas. So again, the 35th Engineer Battalion, which will be the 1457, will be executing the traffic management along with MPs. And I'm sorry, I kind of jumped forward a little bit. So for Bravo, your task organization for this, you will have. Okay, so the Assured Mobility Force, again, will be the 1457 Engineer Battalion along with 814 MRBC and an MP company and a chem company. The Assault and Bridgehead Force will be the CAV 49 and 138. They will do assault. There will be an assault and bridgehead force, and the breakout force will actually be the 12th UK, and it will be similar operations as was in the initial or the northern side. One thing I forgot to mention that we will have from 16 Cavalry Squadron, we'll have 2 companies here at Crossing Area Bravo, and then for Alpha we'll have 1 to help provide suppressive fire on the far side. Thank you.
Next.
All right, sir. So here is the timeline now for Phase 3 Bravo for shaping operation number 2. All right, so overlapping, here's the 36 hours. This is now the crossing areas are secured. Now we're moving to hour 40. We expect that the bridge will be complete by H+46. We'll cross phase line. Brigades will be crossing phase line red, H+46. The 17 Turk 3-4 and 12 UK will clear phase line red, and then 110 will conduct its air assault at approximately H+57, and that air assault will be to secure the wet gap crossing sites. That should take approximately 9 hours to go wheels up from attack position Lions, and then wheels down to LZ Falcon, and then spread from LZs to conduct a relief in place with 1-3 and 1-4. And so we'll take, and there you go, take 72, H+72, and then moving on to H+96.
What's the march distance from LZ Falcon to those
We think it's approximately 6 kilometers.
Either way.
Either way. So there's a larger LZ, and then within that there's going to be smaller battalion-sized LZs on the east and west side of the center line of the LZ. So approximately 6 kilometers. Additionally, we're going to air assault their CAV squadron is going to go as well. It's going to have their motorized, their 968s with their anti-armor weapons, and the same thing goes for all the weapons companies in the infantry battalions. The vehicles are going to move forward, so they'll get there first. They'll be the quartering party. They'll make contact, conduct link up, and then they'll move and begin the RICTOA process.
Yeah, I'm just concerned with the foot march for the rest of the battalions. So.
We can definitely look at smoothing it out, so that way they're closer and there's more security. Additionally, there will be an attack aviation battalion that will support the air assault to pick up random SAPA and random enemy forces that remain to disrupt. Any questions on the timeline? Next slide. All right, sir, so this is our Phase 3 Bravo. Phase 3 Bravo starts when the wet gap crossings are secured and ends once the enemy forces are defeated on objective Bravo. All right, critical to this is the air assault, a relief in place at the crossing sites, the guard position of 1-4 to the south, and then attack of objective Bravo, which is divided into 3 sub-objectives, Monty, Ike, and Bradley for each of the 3 organizations or the 3 brigades that will be attacking Bravo. And then finally, the forward passage lines in objective Bravo, which will allow 1-3 to follow through. All right, so the main effort for this phase of the operation is Task Force 3-4. Their task is to defeat the 88 DTG on objective Ike, which is the center objective within objective Bravo. Shaping or supporting effort number 2 is Task Force is the 12th UK. Their task is to fix enemy forces in vicinity of objective Monty. Their purpose is to deny the enemy free maneuver. Supporting effort number 2 is Task Force 17, the 17th Turk Brigade. Their task is to disrupt the 88 DTG and objective Bradley, so to the east of objective Bravo, and they're to deny enemy a freedom maneuver. Additionally, we have 1-4 conducting a guard along MSR Yankee to deny enemy SAP elements freedom maneuver and to begin securing critical infrastructure and maintaining security of lines of communication. 110 IBCT will air assault and conduct or secure the gap crossing sites 1 and 2. The reserve for this will remain 369 Armor. They will, once the gap crossing sites are passed, they will move from attack position Panther to attack position Bobcat, along with the TAC, which will have the CG in it. So essentially what you got going on, just as an idea, the gap crossing is complete. We're passing 12th Armor through. They begin fixing enemy forces on Bravo. 1-3 secures this. They pass 3-4. All right, go back. I apologize. They begin disrupting, and then 17 Turk passes, and they begin disrupting, and then the attack goes. And then the air assault begins from attack position Panther. They land at LZ Falcons. They conduct a relief in place with 1-4 to the south, 1-3 to the north. 1-4 then moves south along MSR Yankee and begins conducting the guard, while 1-3 prepares itself for its follow-on mission on objective Charlie. Pending your questions, I'll be followed by information.
As briefed by Major K, the collection focus will be primarily on AVA's approach leading into Objective Bravo, as well as confirming the enemy disposition within Objective Bravo and the HVTs within. We're also at this time going to be start looking a little bit outward as we expect 84th to move through our AO and possibly looking at AVA's approach into from areas of influence outside of our AO moving into our from the south. So we'll be collecting on that. Any questions? Followed by fires.
In the Phase 2 Bravo, in the initial phases of this operation, in the initial phase, during Phase 3 Bravo, will be positioned, the 4th Division will be positioned north of baseline red. As maneuver forces conduct the attack on objective Bravo, the 4th ID will move to position south of the baseline red, south of the river, in order to support that attack and shape objective Bravo. The 75th still remains with the 2nd MEB and 2nd MEB's AO. The fire support tasks here are to continue to neutralize the elements of the 77th that have that are conducting a withdrawal, and to neutralize the enemy that's moving into objective Bravo. That's the 18th. The second task, and it remains, is to continue to destroy enemy long-range artillery, the IFC East long-range artillery that I briefed you on earlier. The fire support coordinator measures here are initially is faceline red. Once we are ready to move across the river, the CFL will become faceline cedar, which is got deleted from the picture here, but the faceline cedar, which essentially runs right north of objective Bravo. And then on order, it'll be faceline orange. At the end of this operation, once objective Bravo is defeated, once the enemy has been defeated on objective Bravo, the 4th Divardi will move to positions north of faceline orange, and will request the 75th to move south to north of faceline orange on the east side of the AO there, in order for us to be able to shape objective Charlie prior to the initiation of the attack on Charlie. The HPTs for this phase remains fire support, followed by command and control nodes, and then there are T90s and T80s, maneuver assets, then ADA assets, SA-10s if there's any, and SA-22s. During this phase, we have one attack battalion dedicated as DS to 3-4, the main effort. The priority of fire, sir, is 3-4, 17 Turks, and then followed by the 12 UK. We'll have 60 sorties for this operation. This is roughly 2 ATO, so that's 120 sorties total. The bulk of them are going to remain at the division level for us to be able to shape objective Charlie. So 3-4 will get 15, and then 10 for each one of the supporting efforts. And depending on your questions, I'll be followed by protection.
Done with phase 3 Bravo. Key takeaways are the MPs are providing traffic control points on bridges for units moving forward to facilitate movement across the wet gap, and then the ADAs and the follow-on support for maneuver elements to mitigate manned and unmanned aerial threats. So the 188 is divided. 2 of the units are going to follow on forces on each of the 2 gap crossings. Any of your questions?
So for sustainment during phase 3 Bravo, the main takeaways are the relocation of the BSBs from DSA Iron Host to DSA 8 initially. Again, you can see the composition on the left-hand side of the CPOP. And that's going to occur once the enemy forces are defeated at objective Bravo. Additionally, the BSPs will send some fleets forward to support the maneuver units as they go forward to objective Charlie. If any questions, I'll be followed by mission command.
Sir, in the subphase, the ECP will stay in position. The attack will move to attack position Bobcat, as briefed earlier, and we'll also position 2 of our grand retransmission stations to support objective Bravo, as well as reposition our Gray Eagle over objective Bravo. Any questions? Followed by movement.
Next slide. So here's a continuation of the timeline, sir. All right, so at H120, we have a secondary air assault, and that'll be a 110 from the gap crossing sites to a position northeast of objective Bravo in order to screen along the 2-med boundary. We expect that'll take approximately 9 hours to complete. Following that, about 3 hours there from the attack on objective Charlie will begin at H+132. We're giving ourselves approximately 30 hours to defeat the enemy on objective Charlie. Slow, methodical. This is the decisive operation. We want to make sure that we force the withdrawal of the enemy forces south to the IB. Any of your questions? All right, sir. So here we are now. We have just defeated the enemy force on objective Bravo. Critical to this event is the air assault from LZ Hawk. The air assault to LZ Hawk from LZ Falcons, or the gap crossing sites. Maintaining the guard across the southern flank, and then the attacking of objective Charlie, which again because we're using 3 brigades. We've divided into 3 sub-objectives, Objective Alexander, Patton, and Ridgeway. All right, so essentially what you have going on is first condition to be met is once our friendly forces have defeated the enemy on Objective Bravo and begin setting conditions for the attack on Objective Charlie, there will be a relief and blaze conducted by the MPs to the north on LZ Falcons, which will then allow 110 to conduct their air assault from LZ Falcons to LZ Hawk. LZ Hawk, the idea is for them to conduct a screen along the 2 MEV boundary, just in case 84th begins to withdraw south to the international boundary, and that will prevent the massing of combat power on our main effort or on this decisive operation here. So 12th UK will move from Objective Bravo along this AOA, and then begin to establish base of fire, and their task is to fix enemy forces on Objective Alexander in order to prevent the massing of combat power on the main effort. Task Force 1-3, they'll move and conduct a swooping envelopment around to the east side, oriented to the southeast, and they'll be disrupting enemy forces on Objective Ridgeway, located here, and that's to prevent the massive combat power on the